Good morning and welcome to Clarity. My name's Barbara Gray and I'm here to keep you company. Got a lovely new set of stamps. Jilly is in the building with yourselves, here to keep you company too. If you have any questions, then she's your lady and she'll filter those questions through to me. So come on in. I can't see the chat because I'm busy demonstrating and showing you what's on offer today. So do come on in. Let's let our friends find us. In the meantime, I can tell you that Paul, he's usually here with me, but he is up at Hobby Maker, and he's got shows this afternoon on Hobby Maker at 2 p.m. and at 6 p.m. So he's going to be busy up there getting ready for those two big shows. He's got some smashing things to show you. And my job is to keep you company here and show you a fabulous new set of stamps and masks that work beautifully together. I think you're going to really enjoy them. If you're one of our SHACers and you join us every Monday at 10 o'clock in the SHAC, then you will be familiar with these lovely stamps. So we'll just let some friends find us first. The sound is great, says Jilly. I'm glad to hear it. I might have made a mistake with the intro, but there you go. We're here and we're waiting for our friends to join us. So early to the party. Let's just see where we're at, and then we'll have a look at what we're doing today. My glasses are filthy. Okay, now new set of stamps. Let me just before I show you, let me just show you, for example, how to shop with us. So you can see here, this is the lovely balloon set with the tall triangle people. I think you're going to really enjoy this set, complete with masks, very easy to use, great fun, perfect for so many different occasions. It's a joyful set. And we learned in the SHAC how to make the moons and how to draw the moons and doodle them and the little triangle people. And I thought it would be really great if you have them to hand. So these little tiny Clarity people, the SHAC people, are really popular. I think you're going to enjoy them. These are our tall folks. So you can see, looking at the screen here, at the top of the cell L, you can see it says 12302. So that is the product code. And you can go online at claritystamp.com and you'll find the set there. Anything in the show is all gathered together on the show page. And that's easy to find too. If you're new to Clarity, let me tell you how it works. If you go to the website, you can click on the home page and you'll see a turquoise like this. You'll see like a turquoise button, Clarity TV. If you click that and you click through, you'll see we're live. And that is where the recordings sit. That's where they live. So that means if you miss a show or you have to go out early, or today we're only doing 10 o'clock. Usually we do 10 and 2. But I don't want to clash with my friend Paul on Hobby Maker. So I shall go home and work from home for an hour. I've got some lovely design work to do. So I'm going to do that this afternoon. But what I'm saying is that if you can't make it, say, in the afternoon when we're here, when you go to that particular place on the website, all the recorded shows live there. So you can always catch up. So while we're on that subject, one of the other great things, see, many of you now, you watch on YouTube. I understand that too, I really do. You can watch on Facebook Live, you can watch on YouTube. More and more people are moving over to YouTube, we've noticed. But you see, I like watching if I on the website, because then I'm right by the products. And the other thing is, when you look at the video, you'll also notice that there are digital downloads. And for the main demos of that hour, we create digi downloads. ready for you to just print off and easy for you to then see. Say months from now, you may say, oh, I really liked what they did with those balloon stamps. And then you can go back and you can scroll through all the recorded TV shows. They're like tutorials, really, right? And then you can see at a glance, you'll see, for example, there'll be birthday balloons. And it will tell you exactly when we did it, 6th of February, 10 a.m., birthday balloons. It will show you what was made, and it will be larger than life. And then it will show you what was used. And if you're watching on the reconnecting. Sorry, I think I lost you for a moment there. If you're watching on the website, we even provide you with the links to the product and the product codes. But this is a great reference for down the road, you see. And it shows you, so you can watch and enjoy. And then if you want to try it, you could go back and say, what ink pads was she using? And then you can check. So it's great if you're starting out stamping or you want to emulate this project. Right, so that was what I wanted to tell you. And of course, failing all that, if you're not a techie girl or a techie chap, then you can call Sue downstairs on 01732 868 215 and she will help you over the phone. So there you go. That's the way that we roll here at Clarity. And there we go. We've got lots of friends in the room now. You can see straight away what the new stamps are. So I want to show you them and you'll recognize them straight away also from the SHAC. So let's have a look here. If we look at the actual set, these are really cool, very, very cool. These are silhouette stamps and this white bit is included in the stamp, which is great. They're really nice to use. We've got these curved messages which sit on the stamps, which is lovely. Here are our tall people that we doodled in the SHAC. And you can see the card that we made. Now let's have a look inside. So we're going to get our stamps, which are top quality award-winning Clarity stamps. Sorry, it went a bit fuzzy on me there. Okay. And then we're going to get our masks. So you can see here, these are for the SHAC balloons. We don't have the tall people masks. We don't need those. But that's for this particular set. And you can see when you look at this, that they are actually, you get the innie, you get this part. Hang on a minute, let me show you. I'm just going to show you. So we're going to get that part of the stamp, which is really useful. But you also get the outer part. So there's a cutting edge here too. So you don't have to cut it out. We give you both parts. So you get the positive and the negative on all of these. So there are cut lines along here too. These are what we call kiss cut masks. They're reusable, they work really well, and they fit perfectly on our stamps. So they also come in that set. Now, how much are we paying for this particular comprehensive collection of tall people and balloons? We're paying $16.75 for that set. It's really useful, I have to say. I've enjoyed using these. And if you're a club member, then you can see on the screen here, it's 10% discount. You save more. 12.5 if you are a member of 2 of our clubs, if you take, say, stencils and stamps or groovy and stamps. And then 15 if you're one of our diamond members and you actually subscribe to all 3 of our product range project clubs. So you can see here, then you get 15% discount and you save another £2.51. So that's the set that we're going to use today. Now, the other thing that I wanted to flag up while we're here, oh, you lovely groovy folks, because people were saying, well, what about us groovers? What about us parchers? Surely these would work really well for our parchment friends too. So let me just flag that up there. And here we have it, an A5 square, lovely little set. a plate, real fun, very, very fun. And I'm sure that our friend Louise is going to put this particular plate through its paces next Tuesday on Groovy Tuesday. And she made a lovely card to show off how gorgeous this stamp, this groovy plate is. So really fun to use. And methinks she's going to show you how to do this on Tuesday afternoon. So so do join Louise on Tuesday afternoon, and she'll show you how that works. But the plate is already available, and if you place your order today, who knows, you may already have it by Tuesday, and then you could craft along with her. So let me just pop that to one side. I just wanted to give you that code again. You can see it on the screen there. 42611, £10.49 gets you that A5 square plate, and all the little people and the messages and the balloons. It's very cool. Okay, so that's the groovy plate. I'm going to concentrate on the stamps. So let me I'll tell you what I'm going to do before we get going. I'll just show you what else is on offer today on just a quick run through. So let's see here. We've got the SHAC stamps, which I'm going to show you in a moment with the balloons and the people. This is 12302. Then we've got the groovy plate, 42611. These are the groovy equivalent. And then on the show as well, I just wanted to shine a light on these particular collection. Now I know this is a big collection, but it's got to be looked at because it's one of our masterpieces. You can see here we've got the Build a Wreath. I think I'm going to get these out of the cupboard on one of our Mini Make Mondays days because they are so useful. I'm going to use them in the first demo. The whole collection, which includes 4 sets of stamps, very clever for building wreaths, 4 stamp pens, all in a slow down box. That's 21231. You can buy the stamps individually if you prefer, or as a set of 4, like so. That's 12073. You can also get the 4 stamp pens on their own, 31749. Cool. And one of the things that I wanted to flag up before we start, of course, you realize that it's product of the month, this month in February. The next 3 items, if you drop any one of these into your baskets, then you will get double points on the entire basket. Now, this fabric strip card pack is really proving popular. We'll take another look at that later together. Got some fantastic art samples to show you using the products of the month. The design team have really gone to town on this, so I'm really excited to show you the different sets. So we've got the fabric strip card pack. More will be revealed. Double points on that if you add it to your basket. Then we've got the SHAC borders, strips and panels A5 stamp set, which kind of goes with the fabric strip card. This is 12277. Again, if you pop that in any basket all through the month, you'll get double points on the entire basket. Well worth having that. And then the third thing is a little bundle here called A Whole Lot of Love, the Heart Aperture Toppers, which if you're in the SHAC, you will be familiar with this little collection too. This is where all this was drawn. That little Whole Lot of Love pack, $8.99. The product code is 21254. And once again, if you pop that, or the fabric strip card pack into your baskets, then you will get double points on the entire basket. So, you know, we're seeing a lot of people come in for one item at a time and then maximizing on double points on their baskets. Makes sense. And that's for that entire month of February. So no rush on that either. Now let's take a look at those balloons. I'd like to start a demo. So I'm going to just park the, let's just park the selling for a moment. Let's do a demo. And then we'll have a look at those art pieces. So the first demo I want to do is this one here. So when I did this, I didn't have the masks in front of me. So I had to stamp the, I couldn't overlap them so well, you see. And the only way that I could overlap a balloon, because I didn't have the mask, was to actually die cut a circle and create an overlay. This one here is stuck on. And what I did was, right, just saying, because this is a really great way to work. I just want to show you this, right? Oh, hello. What I did was, I just want to show you these. See, I took my nested squares, not the squares, nested circles dies, and I just die cut out the one in the middle that I'll show you. See, it's that. So I cut that out with the little dies. This is if you want to make other balloons. You can either do what we did in the SHAC with the masks, or you can die cut them, and then you can actually overlay them. See, there's that one there. That's one of the circles. This is how you could, for example, make a bunch. Do you see what I mean? This is how you do it. If you haven't got a mask, you can just set them on top of one another or behind one another like that. Do you get it? So I'm just adding a little tip that if you've got those die cut in those nested circles, this is a great way to make the mask. And also, when you do this, what you'll see is that the stamp sits really perfectly on that one. And on this one, let me show you, you just take one that's slightly larger so that it stamps over the edge of the little die, right? And then that's how I did that one. That's how I did that one. So all that is just a little tip on how to make balloons if you haven't got a mask, but we have got a mask. So, and also you can make different sizes. That's the other thing. So if we just take this and then we'll deconstruct it so you can see how I made this. So this is a piece of just stencil card, and I think I cut it to like, yeah, 6 by 6, something like that. I gave myself a little bit of wiggle room and then I trimmed it back. Okay, so I've got the stencil card. This is a piece of Waimea Falls companion paper. So I just picked a really good colour that I love these papers. Okay, you just pick the colour out of the which colour balloon are you going to go for? You know, I went for the peachy colour. So you can see here, I'm still using up my old stash, so mine is double-sided. The new companion papers that we send to you are now single-sided, which is better because you don't waste colour on the back. Okay, so I just picked one of these. There it is. Waimea Falls, nice and bright, works for me. So, and then I used a 7 by 7 card blank. So 7 by 7 card blank. And then if you look at how it's cut, this is an inch bigger. Do you see this is an 1.5 inches bigger? So that I'm giving it a little bit more whiteness there. There you go. 7 by 7 card blanks. Let me just show you this, because the two sets that I'm going to use on this particular card, I'm using 7 by 7. So they come with 10 card blanks and envelopes, 31672. And while I'm here, I'm going to show you the 8 by 8s, because I actually cut a 8 by 8 in half. It's 31673. I cut an 8 by 8 in half for the other demo that I'm going to show you, which is this one, which is also very nice. But you see, I just chopped the card in half, so I've got 2 for 1 on that one. So I'll show you the cards, just in case you're interested. It's 31673 for a pack of 10 plus 10 envelopes, and then 7 by 7, which we're using now, 31672. Okay, we've got all the other sizes. We've got 5 by 5, 6 by 6, 4 by 4. Yeah, they're great. So let's take a look at this and let's get started. So I'm going to use a piece of card. First things first, piece of card. Then I'm going to get my stamps. I've already mounted them. So let me just pop this over here. Just for the sake of speed and efficiency, I thought I'd mount them and get going. Right, so I've got my selection of handles that I'm using, and I've got my balloons already mounted. The large one I put on a flat one. I've got all my little people ready to go. I've all put them on little mini mounts and different mounts. I've picked which ink pads I want to use. So I've got my ink pads ready to go. And you can see I've got a little family. I kind of went tone in tone for sure. And the ones I'm using here are distress oxides. So we've got new ones in the cupboard. I'm sure you're aware of that. We had a big delivery from Ranger recently, and so we've got a fantastic selection of these, and perhaps we'll have a closer look at them later. But let's just take a look as we start now. Let's just take a look at how we put this together. So are we going to go with this kind of style? I'll show you a couple of tricks. So here, for example, I'm going to set the pace with her. I'm going to start with her and then her friends can join. Okay, so you can see here, I'm giving myself some wiggle room. The reason I do that is because it's easier to trim it. You can't really add it. Okay, I'm talking about card now. So I'll start with the large one. I'll start with the large balloon and then I'll add her afterwards. Okay, so because she's tall, I've got to give her a bit of leg room. That's why I'm going tall on. I'll do the tall one first. So let's show you how to ink up the stamp with a distress oxide. I'll just put them to one side. We'll use that one first. We'll go with her, okay? The rest are pretty straightforward. I think she's interesting. Let's come in a bit closer on her so you can see what I've actually done. Because when we check out this particular image, okay, so I've got her little friends, I've got an overlap, showed you how to do that, like so. But if I covered her up, leave him out of it, but her on her own with a bunch of flowers is pretty cool. That's for mini makes, that's lovely. That would make a nice card just on its own. And I think that's what's so cool about this set is you've got so many options here. So let's pan out a little bit and I'll show you how to get that lovely shade first. All right, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is take our stamp, and I need some spot-on sponges to do this job because they are what's needed. Just bear with me a minute now. Where did I put those? First thing I need, and I fell over at the first hurdle. Bear with me a minute. So I know I've got the product here. I may just have to. So I need spot-on sponges, okay? And I can't see any hanging around. So I'm going to grab one of these. So let me just do the sell before I dismantle this. Right, you can buy 1 pack of spot-on sponges for 30537. That's the product code for one. Or you can get all 4 of them for, and that the product code then is 31215. Okay. So I'm just going to use one of these packs and we'll replace it later. That's all right, my bad. There's a lot going on here at Clarity at the moment, but these are great, okay? Right, let's have a look. So I'm going to take one of my spot-on sponges. I'll get a couple out, so use a couple. You watch in a minute, I'll find a whole pack on the side. Now I've got to decide what colour I'm going to use. So I'm going to go with for this particular colour, I think I'll use saltwater taffy. See, the nice thing is that you can add a little bit of depth as well. So I'll show you. You use the stamp as your palette, if you like. But this is great because you don't have to worry about about the white Posca pen. So let's say I put a little bit of that colour on there like so, okay? So this is that saltwater taffy. This is one of the new ones actually. It's good. So I'm just going to stamp this into place like that. And then I just add a little bit of ink, and then this is a 4x4 inch mega mount. So I'll go like that, and I've got that colour on there like so, right? Then perhaps, this is Dusty Concord. You can use any colour, but let's just go with Dusty Concord. Which one's that? 8, that's one of the new ones as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit around the edge there, like so. It's a darker colour. So I'll use the other side of the sponge, and I'll blend that darker colour. And you can see, I mean, without stating the obvious, what I've done is I've put the light where the white bit's going to be, and I've put the dark around the edge. Okay, so I think that that's probably enough. I'm not going to add, I don't need to add water to it. I'm just showing you that the idea is that the light colour always goes to where that little mark is. That gives you your orientation. And all the balloons have it in the same place. So they're all going to have that same light source. Yeah, that's cool. So let's just take this one. Let's see if this works. And I'm going to leave a little gap just so that I've got a little bit of edge. I could probably trim the bottom off. See, these are slow drying ink pads, so I can decide where I want to be. But I want to give myself plenty of room for the tall, leggy girl that's holding the balloon and the flowers. Okay, so we're just going to press this into place, and then let's see what we've got. So I lift that off, and you can see you get a lovely, it's so easy to do, but you get a lovely depth around there and instant whiteness at the top. It's very simple, very simple. 2 colours, little bit of ink, light to the top, little bit of depth. And when I added the depth around the bottom, you saw what I did. I took the ink pad directly, and I just added a little tiny bit along the rim, and then worked it in with that spot on sponge. So that's how cool those sponges are. Now let's have a look. Let's go to this tall girl here. Right, so our stamps come on these really cool carrier sheets, so you can see exactly where the tall girl is going to sit. One of the things that I want to mention, and I'm not sure if I did it in the other one or whether it was when I was doing the club project. If you're not sure about composition, this is just a tip from me to you. If you're in the SHAC, you'll know that I do this all the time. If you're not sure about how much space you've got, how long the piece of card has to be, etc., etc., start with a 7x7, start with the bigger piece, and use tracing paper. Use a layer of tracing paper, you know, in the SHAC. Use a layer of tracing paper over the top. Stamp your composition like onto the tracing paper, and then if you don't like it, then it gives you your composition, your template, you see? So tracing paper is, I'm going straight to task because if you think about it, I've already got my template. I've already done the job once. But for yourselves, if you're building a picture, building a scene, what we did on Sunday with those little folk art stamps, whichever stamps you're using, if you just do an overlay of tracing paper, and then you stamp your images onto the tracing paper. And I'm not saying you can, if you want, you can stamp them all up and you can cut them out and shuffle them around. You can do that too. That's another way of building a composition. I'm talking about building a scene all on one piece of tracing paper. And if you don't like it, you can move it over a little bit, you know? So that before you go to the canvas, if you like, you've already decided which stamps are going where. Makes sense. So let's have a look here. I'm going to take my tall girl, the tallest girl. I want to use her, see? So I can use my sheet of, my carrier sheet, and I say, right, I'm going to pop her there, for example. Or if I had tracing paper, I could have stamped it on tracing paper and worked it out. But let's just pop her there because I want to show you a little trick with some flowers as well. Right, so I'll take her and I'll take an ink pad. Right, we've done the balloon. And now we're going to go ink pad. So let's see. The thing about having the bloom, while I'm just inking this up, having that built-in light shine makes such a, it's so easy, okay? It's easy, and they're perfect every time. And if you try and do it with a, you can always do it with a thingamajig, with a white Posca pen. The only thing is that this is just instant. It doesn't matter where you stamp them. There's always this little perfect white spot where you need it. And if you look at this stamp, that's a card, that's a card, that's a card, that's a card. Oh, look. And I tell you what would be great. This one here, right? She's grounded. I was thinking about this early this morning, actually. Let me just show you this. If I go in close on this one, right, she's hanging on, and she's grounded because I put a little pencil mark underneath her feet. But if she could be floating, she could be up and away, you know, she doesn't have to actually be standing on the ground, you know, flying away. Fly away with me. You can have some real fun with her. So I'm just saying that these girls, these stamps are very, very versatile. Now let's have a look. So one's for test, one's for best. Now I know how she stamps up. I've got a black archival ink pad. Let's just keep it simple. Black archival ink pad. I'm going to stamp her there like so. Right, a little bit of a wiggle. Perfect. Right, so she's in place. Because your question's going to be, shall I do the her or the bloom? What am I doing first? And I would say it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It's entirely up to you. If it is, it's 6 of one and a half dozen of the other. I've got to go one way or the other, so I went with the bloom first to show you the colour. Right, now we've done that. Then what we need is a black micron pen, right? So we've got a black micron pen. We've got these. I know we've got these in the cupboard. Bear with me un secundo. Right, there we are. 30778. You get 7 of them in a pack, and they are all different sizes, and I'm using 01. But that doesn't mean that the larger ones aren't useful. I use them all the time. So these are great. The Bridge to Art, we call these. Black archival fine line pens. They're a go-to for any artist, and we certainly use these in the SHAC a lot. So let's have a look. Jilly says, white spots on the balloon to show that the sunshine still exists. I think so too, Jilly. Now let's just get this out of the way. Let's do all our other work. So now we need to make a connection between the girl and the balloon. So I did one with a ruler, and then I decided I didn't like it. So now I'm going to go from here down there, and I'm going freehand. So I'm just going to come down like so until I get to there. That'll do for a start. When you do it with a ruler, it looks really straight, funny enough. Like I'll show you. See that one there? It looks too straight. And I thought, no, don't like that. Look, I'll show you. You see the difference? I know it's only a little difference, but you see how that looks rod straight, that looks more organic. Go with the organic, because these look very organic. So I think it doesn't track. This could be like a metal rod. It's so straight. So let's look here. We've got her. Now let's stay close because I want to show you a little trick. Also, on this set of stamps, there are loads of little flowers. Jazz always does this. She always fills every gap. And so she gave us a couple of flowers. And I thought, right, okay, let's see what we can do. So let's get up close now. See, I've made her taller. Yeah, that's all right though. It's gonna be a taller card. Right, so have a look here. And then I started thinking, right, okay, so we've got the flowers. So I've got my stamp pens out. I thought, yeah, nice, nice. Now I've got different ink pads. Yes. So just bear with me a second. I need a little light blue one. Only because if I'm going to have a light blue one here, so I'm kind of combining the colours here with the colours here. Just follow. But the idea that I had was to use these colours. Like, let me show you. If I go in here and I take these daisy flowers that she's given us, let's just start. I'll show you. So, for example, you've got a test over here, see? So you go like that, and you can start building a bouquet, which is ironic because that's what we're doing in the shack at the moment, is building a bouquet. So I thought, right, okay, if it's too, let me try it on white though, because I can't see. That's perfect, right? So I just want to make sure that it stamps up right. So now let me see if I make a little bouquet. I'm going to just pop a couple of them in. I know that doesn't look like a lot, but it will do for now. Then I'm going to take a smaller one. So I'm building this bouquet, okay? And as I was doing this, I was thinking, hang on, let's check it. Nice. See? And as I was doing this, I was thinking, yeah, but that's all well and good. But what am I going to do with, how am I going to get it to her hand? What am I going to do? Just cover the whole hand? And that's when I started looking at those stamps, these stamps. I know I'm digressing, but if you, let's come out a little bit and then we'll come back in again. So I started looking at these, right? You know, the build a wreath stamps. And I was looking for, let's have a look at these. I started thinking, cool, hang on a minute. You could build an amazing bouquet. But what I was looking for was something to hold in her hand, right? And then I found that one. You see these ones here? These ones are brilliant. So as you start to look through them, look, humour me for a minute. I'll show you all of them. Right? You can imagine the number of bouquets you've got going on here. So this is the whole set of 4. I think that's the one I use, or that one there. There it is. That one there. See that tiny little thing? That one would be good as well. But I got this one. And it sort of starts the whole bouquet going, you see. But looking at the 4 sets, just in case you're not familiar with these, let's take a look. You've got the Christmas one with the ginkgo and all the different leaves and foliage. So imagine now, use your imagination. You've got the girl. Now you're filling her bouquet with different flowers. You got that mask in the cupboard. You could use the mask to put the flowers in the balloon as well, like completely fill the balloon with flowers if you wanted to. Then we've got 12071. This is definitely autumnal. Lovely leaves on this one. And this foliage, this kind of foliage, if you're doing a bouquet, just saying, these are fantastic. Let me just flag up the, just bear with me a second while I find that set for you. What have we got here? There, that's the big comprehensive set. That, maybe let's take a look at the 4 sets there. So we've got all 4 sets of stamps here that I'm showing you. So that's the autumn one. Then we've got the summer one, really lovely. We've got butterflies and bees and birds. These birds are beautiful. Little dragonfly, little dots. So all these things would be brilliant to decorate the balloons, but also give those tall people, those triangle people, something else to put in their hands, because they're all kind of designed to hold. This is my thinking here. They're all designed to hold a balloon. So when I drew them, one's got a hand up there, another one's got a hand up there, or like that. So, and every single hand is inviting a bouquet of flowers. That was my thinking behind it. So if you've got these little triangle people, the tall ones especially, they're fantastic for that idea because they've got their hands in the right place. And then the stamps themselves. So then we've got spring, which is where I took this one. So that's the whole set, 12073. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is just one little trick to use one little stamp. Okay, I'll show you. I did grab a couple of demos that I did just to show you how, because we called it the Build a Wreath set. But this is, if you haven't seen these before, they're silhouette stamps. That's the key here. And I know I digress, but this has got to be worth showing you. because they're silhouette stamps, it doesn't matter which ink pad, you use, they're solid, so you can overlap them. It doesn't matter how tiny the stamps are, see, and they also come with these, somewhere in the set, there are these lovely little words. I think they're in the comprehensive set, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure they're in this comprehensive box. I bet they're in there. Anyway, I'm going to get caught up with too much else. But this little set of words, Jilly will tell you where to find them. Or she could tell me where we find them. But you can see how, listen, you draw around a glass or a cup with a light pencil, and then you just start building that wreath. Or these come with masks as well. You stamp the little box, you stamp the words. Look, isn't that gorgeous? Mini Makes Monday coming up. I think maybe we should explore those because there's so much mileage in these. So much mileage. But back to the plan and all that, just so that I could explain why I was using this little stamp. But you get it now. I think you get it now. See, now I can stamp this into place. Let me take a black ink pad. Just a black ink pad. There you go. Let me just move these out of the way. So I'm going to stamp that into her hand so you can test it like that. See, so you know now. Right, black ink pad. Hours of fun, hours of play. I'll just pop that in her hand like so. Right, now she's got a bunch. Now we can start adding. And it doesn't matter if the flowers are behind. Really, they're not 2D, are they? They're not two-dimensional. Where's the lid to this? Ah, here it is over there. Okay, so let's just keep going with this. And you'll see I can take, it's cool, this is. So now I can be very specific about where, maybe I should have done that first, but not really, because I've got other little stamps as well. So Jilly's also given us the little centers. Let's go to a different colour. Let's take this colour. She's given us that little dot as well. And this is cool. So now I can come in here, pop the dot there. If that's too dark, I can, well, I wonder what happens if I ink blot plot it. Ink blot plot. Yeah, that'll do. Lightly, like that. See, so now I can build my, maybe I want to go with a pink. Let's take a pink. Pick a different colour. Pink with a dot. See, so now I'm building, there are loads of flower options here. You know, it's so pretty. And then there's another, what else have I got here? I've got two flowers. There are so many different little dots and spots and ways to make. And as soon as you change the colour of the flower, let's go into that pink with that one. So you can make this bouquet as large as you like. Look, isn't it great, isn't it? Well, it's my kind of, I just enjoy it. I enjoy this kind of thing. We could go one large flower. Now, what colour do I think? I think I quite would like to go back to that one there because we kind of lost those a bit. Isn't that nice? You see? So you've got the colours in the background. I think I want a little, let's go with a lighter pink. There you go, Victoria. I've got all the colours out of the cupboard now. In the background there. It's a bit darker, Barbara. There, like so. So now you're building up your bouquet. Easy and fun, really easy and fun. Stamp pen sentiments, 12142. That's good to know. Dusty Concord, let's get the lids on the right ones. But you can see how easy this is to do. And I think that's the thing. It's fun, it's easy. We're using those little stamp sets, those little stamp pens. We're using these stamp pens. We're using the little tiny flowers from this set. There are a couple more dots there, you see. So you've got the dots there, the centers of the flowers. So you can see what I've done on this particular one. I've added a little bit of depth as well. If you take your black micron pen, just ties in a little bit of black. If I wanted to, I I could just add a little bit of, actually, let me take a larger dot. I know you think she's gone a bit mad, but let me show you. If I take a larger dot, and I just want to take that, use that one, and I'll go to Kitsch Flamingo. That's a good pink. Kitsch Flamingo, that's a nice one. So I'll just pop a Kitsch Flamingo in there like that. All right, this is getting big, this bouquet, but that's cool. I just want to show you. See, now if I wanted to, I can decorate the flowers as well, just by adding a couple of little dots around the dots, if you know what I mean. So little things like that. And if you wanted to add the stalks, I'm not so fussed about that. I don't think it's necessary, but I just wanted to explain how you can get quite good with your flowers. And if you're using these particular flowers, then forget the balloon and go straight to flowers, you know. Right, I think that's good to see. Done that, very simple. And you know that the rest of the balloons are going to be a piece of cake as well. How do we colour her in? Let's just do the colouring in on her. I personally would use these, and I would just go to our collection of spring, summer, autumn and winter polychromos, and just, this is easy, see, so we just go in with these different colours that I've got, and you're tying in all the time, you're tying in the colour. So a little bit of shadow, there you go. Let's have a look what we've got. There you go. So we put a little bit of shadow on that, blend that out a little bit. There we are. Shadow's good. Maybe we'll go with a different colour. These are very nice, and we sell, take that one's quite nice. Polychromos, Faber-Castell, Rolls Royce of the colouring world, in my humble opinion. There we go. So just see how it all starts to tie in. There you go. And we're just going to add a little bit of depth to that corner. So now it looks like, see, she's cool. She's got little matching shoes. There you go. And she's done. And there we can move on to the next one. So I just want to show you how simple this is. But her on her own, she already looks really pretty. I don't know how much, you know, you've got all of them there, but I want to show you an example now of how I would, what do you do now? You've got that. See, I've gone, I carried on. That's straightforward. I think this is self-explanatory. Let's go to this one and show you how would I complete this card if I wanted to finish this one. Now, I've got no words on here yet. What I did on the balloon here, you can see I just stamped the flower in. I used happy birthday to give that curve. It makes the balloon look 3D. Right, now let's take let's see what we can do. So I could put a word. I've got to think of my sentiment. If I wanted to use a sentiment, I've got to decide those new art deco words would look fabulous like this. But let's just, so you've got to decide where you're going to put your word. On the balloon, over the balloon, next to the balloon, next to her, so on and so on. But let me just show you, if I use the low tack masking tape, I'll show you a little trick on how to. Now, where did I put the low tack masking? You know what it is? Tomorrow, we've got a workshop. We've got a workshop, an online workshop, and I've been gathering all my bits together. And for some reason, I seem to have left that low tack tape somewhere else as well. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to open this pack as well. That's all right. I'm going to do it because I need some low tack tape. My bad. Right, good. Right, let's have a look. So what I want to do now, in order to make this, I could chop this off, I can mount it, etc., etc. But I quite like the way that they sit outside the box. Okay. So let's just see how we do that. If I take her and I keep her feet outside the box, like so. You got it? And so I'm using the masking tape now to make a frame. And I'm gonna make the frame. So all the time I'm doing this, I'm looking at how big. That's about the same as that. Maybe trim that back a little bit. See, so now I'm isolating, but you can see I'm putting the masking tape down and I'm making my box. Now this is where I have to decide which words I want to use, whether I want to stick to happy birthday on here, whether I want to use a sticker. These are the choices I make. Those Art Deco, the other ones from last product of the month, absolutely fantastic, would sit here, in which case I'd have to move this one over a bit. So I'm just showing you, thinking out loud, how this works. So let's say I'm going to leave a little gap there. I'm going to kind of open this one up a little bit. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm going to open this one up a little bit because I think I'm going to put a word there. Ideally, I'd have the word here, but I think I know what I want to put here. So let's just leave that gap. Whatever I decide here, though, is definitely, it's got to be sorted out before I once I do this, I can't change where this line goes. But let me just pop this in here, so that way I'm hiding that bit, and I've just isolated this bit. Now let's say I don't want to go over that. In comes my balloon mask. You see, because it's quite close to the edge there, so I want to keep this nice and bright. So I'm going to use my mask just to cover that up, like so. That'll do. That's the bit that I'm going to be looking to avoid changing the colour of. You follow me? So if I take one of my brushes now, see, I've covered this up, I've covered all the sides up, and now I'm just using one of the colours just to brush through that area there. And I don't know, it's a lovely lilac blue colour, so it's probably a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let's go with the tumbled glass. That's number 11 in my so that's one of the new ones. So we'll just add a little bit of colour to that. And you don't have to completely make a solid square. What we do need is a little bit along the bottom of her legs, only because that's what we're trying to do, is make a box of colour. Nothing else, just a little box of colour. So we're going to keep on the edge there. We decided against using the getting masks for the people. I just said we need masks for the balloons. That's more important. Let's have a look here. See, and I'm holding the brush down, further down, so it gives me a bit more. Just gives me a bit more depth, a bit more pressure. See? Just go like that, a bit of depth. It's all right. We've coloured the skirt in. That acts as a resist just on its own, to be fair. Right, now let's just see how we can get some colour going there now. See? You can always check it. Let's have a look, shall we? Nice. There we are, look, that'll do. I just want to show you how you create your own frame. You create your own size, it's entirely up to you. And then that gives you, take that off, take that off, take that off. So she's now standing outside the box, which is really pretty. You don't have to have a solid wall, it's not necessary. And we'll take that off. Look at that, see? So the colour, you don't affect the colour of, this would have gone quite muddy if I'd gone over that with the blue otherwise, wouldn't it? So I just wanted to show you how that works. And if the other thing is, let me just get these lids on, and then I'll show you another little trick, because the masks are so cool to do. If you want to put a balloon in front of another balloon, you know that you always have to what you do is you stamp the one in the front, cover that up, then stamp the one behind it. So for example, if you wanted to do this, which one would you stamp first? You'd stamp this one first, then you'd cover it up, then you'd stamp that one into place. That's how it works. So let's just do that, and then once we've done that, we can move on to the second demo, if you fancy it. But I really like that. And you know, this is the thing here, with this one now, which is a little bit different to this one, but hey, that's the whole idea, is choices, choices, choices. This is just takes a little bit longer. But let's say, for example, with her, you could make this a really tall card, you know, a really tall card, and then you could put the flowers in there, and you could put loads of balloons together. But when you do that, you have to know that the balloons at the front are the ones you do first. So let's just take a piece of, let's just do this, and let's just have a little balloon exercise, and then we'll move on to the other demo, if you're up for it. So the first thing we've got to do is decide if we're going to do a set of balloons. Let's say which one's at the front. I'll pick a balloon, right? Any size. I've picked one of the middle size ones, and I'll go with a pink. Let's do a pink balloon. This is the one at the front. So I'm light to the top, right? See where the light is? So I'm putting the pink, the light bright color, to the top. That's quite a lot, but it gives you an idea of where I'm going. So I'll do that, and then I'll take my spot on sponge. There we go. And I'll just dab that into place like so. I'll cover the whole thing because it's quite small. That'll do. Now I want a little bit of depth around the bottom though, don't I? So light, we're going to go dark round this side. So it's the opposite of where the light shine is. Let's take, I've probably got enough on there. Let's take the Dusty Concord just because we can. Pink, Dusty Concord's good, yeah. Opposite, a little bit of that colour around that edge there. Don't need loads. A little goes a long way with this. Let's try that again. Got some on there, so I can use that on there. Yeah, should be all right. Right, so that should be the depth, the darkness. Let's see, we'll pop this one. This is at the front, right? So we'll pop that. Let's leave a bit of room, so we've got room for the guys, for the balloon holders. So we'll go in the middle here. There you go. Let's just pop that in place. Right, so it's quite dark, it's quite light there, but that looks all right. I wonder what colour I used there. I didn't put enough colour in, but that's all right, because what I'll do then is, that's going to be at the front. Okay, that's all right. I can, you know, I can use the outside of the balloon mask to add a bit of colour if I want to. But let's just get this balloon in place. Let's get this one covered up, just to start. Quite like that, actually. Right, so we've got that one covered up. Okay, let's take a larger balloon and pop that one behind it. So the white thing is covered up with the mask. So now we're going to go this one here, like so. So we decide where the position is going to be. That one's there, that one's there. If I want another one at the front, before I do that, I've got to put another one to the front. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with that one. No, I can't do that. Let's do a different one. Let's do a little tiny one like that. Right. So we're going to go with that colour, pink again. This time I'll make it darker here. That was a bit too light. I went a bit too ginger on that one. So let's go with, I'm going to go with the blue. Let's try that colour. I'm going to use the stamp, the spot. Now I can see it. I know that that's going to be dark. Yeah, you can see that. So I'm just going to spread that out a little bit so it's not too dark. That'll do. Right, now that one is going to be at the front as well. So I'm going to have a little fella holding this one. It's quite light as well, isn't it? What's going on? That's all right. It's light. That's all right. It's a pastel balloons. Quite nice, actually. So we'll cut. No, that's the wrong mask. So we pick the mask that fits it, Gray. Right. Tweezers would be good. And I've got a set in the other. I've got a pair of tweezers in the other packet. Right, so pop that on there like so. Make sure it fits. Put it in the right place. In a minute, I'm going to go and find the tweezers. Right, that'll do. That'll do for now. Right, so now I want to put a bigger moon, a larger balloon behind, like that. I think we'll go with that one, or let's go with that one. Right, now, clearly, I'm not putting enough ink on these stamps, so I'm going for it now. Let's do this. Right, blue. This is tumble glass. Distress oxide. We'll spread that out a little bit on there. Okay. Don't take too much off. So I'm going to pop that on there like so, but I want to put a bit of depth. So I'm going to go with my dark blue. Hopefully this will work now. See, put a bit of dark blue on there. Right, add a little bit of depth around that corner. Okay. So what's great is having that light, it tells you exactly. So now this one's going to sit behind that one, and it needs to be, now let's see if this works. Okay, hopefully it will. So we'll just press that into place. Let the ink soak in, because now it's got to go through, it's got to go over a mask as well. So we'll give that a go. Now it works. See, so now we just push, just add with a finger, or you can go with a mask. Sponge like that. So now you've got one there, one there, one there. And when I lift this mask away, doesn't that look cool? So now we've got, I'll come in close. I actually like it really. See that one, that's great if I want to put another balloon here. See? So now that one's covered up. So if I want to use another balloon there, if I want to put another balloon, see, it's all about the layering, isn't it? Whatever's at the front. See, that goes there like so. That's quite nice. 3's a lucky number. I like 3. And you can write numbers into there as well. So say, for example, happy birthday 21 or happy birthday 6 for children. These are fantastic. If you make cards for children, these are great, aren't they? And then we can say, right, let's have a look which characters are we going to use here? Do you see? So you've got your little people and you decide which ones you want to use. Just finish it off for you and then you'll see. So you just pick the people that work. That one's great. There you go, like that. Nice. That one's in place. Who else we've got here? There's another nice one. She's great. So we pop her in. Just find a handle. I think I'm going to use her there. She's there, like so. So she's holding that one. Good. And then we've got one more. We've done that one. We've done that one. We've got a pair here. That's quite good. So we'll pop the pair in. We've got a couple. Bring them down a little bit, like so. Nice. So you see how you're building your picture. I love these. You know, from a point of view of playtime, these are pretty cool. Let's have a look now. So this one here is his one. So we'll bring that to him and then we'll do a little squiggle. She's holding this one. So we'll bring that down to her and we'll do a little squiggle. This one here is her one. So we'll bring that down to her and then a little bit of that. And then you can add a little bit of like so. Hey, see? Then you colour in according to the colour of the balloon. And if you wanted to put best wishes on here, so you need to cover that up if you want to put it behind. If you really want to get into it, right, then you'd have to cover that one up to put that behind. Or you just move this up a little bit. So it's up to you. See what it looks, should we try it, see what it actually looks like if we, I wonder which one it is. It's this one. Let's see what it looks like if we put the words kind of behind the What do you think? Should work well. Just do it like that. Mask that off. Okay, that's for the uninitiated. Right now I'm going to put best wishes because I think that will work really well. But I need a little anti-wobble device just to stop. So I'm going to take one of those little swirls from there. And then I'm going to pop that best wishes in there. Now, do I want to use, see what it would look like if I use a blue ink pad like that. That would look really nice if I could get that on there. So I'm just using a blue ink pad rather than a black one. But you've got to be careful you don't ink that up. Ink the anti-wobbler up. Otherwise you'll have a blue mark in the middle of your creation. Right, so we're going to pop that on there like so. What about like that? Do I want to make it straight? See, because I've got time now to think about this. What do I think? That's it, that's what I think. Nice. See, when you take that away, let's lift this one off a minute. There. See? So it looks, you know what it says. It's like you know what the rest of the word is. The human brain tells you that that's going to say Wishmas. Right, so I like this kind of art. And then the other thing is, of course, this one, if you wanted that to be a bit darker, right, so which one was that one? Which one was that one? That was that one as well. Let's just lift that off there. So if I wanted to correct that a little bit and put a little bit of colour on that, this is the usefulness of these masks. I'm just going to detack that a little bit just for ease. See, so now I'm bringing this one in over the top of that one. Let me just get that in place. Right, happy days. Okay, so now I've isolated that. This is cool to see this stuff, right? But this was a little bit too faded, wasn't it? We felt it needed to be a little bit darker. So let's see. First thing you've got to do really is make sure that you don't get the ink. So this is where your low tack masking tape comes in. So you just want to make sure that your area is, see, it's all right. Masking tape's what it's for. Right, so we've got that. Now I just want to put a little colour in there. Tiny, tiny amount, but it needs to be a little bit darker than what that was, doesn't it? Agreed. So now let's see what colour I want to go with. Blue. I know you say, well, don't do it. I like it as it is. Right, I'm not inking up. I'm just adding. Look, see where I am over here? See? I just want to give that edge a little bit more of something because it kind of disappeared, that particular balloon, didn't it? So you just see how far over I am over here when I sweep in. I reckon that'll do the job though. And if it's not enough, I can always come back and add a bit more, can't I? You can always add it, but you can't take it away. Right, let's have a look. Where are we? It's nice to have your company. I hope that you're enjoying these stamps. Now, let's see. See? Now you'll say, well, that's not enough. Well, I could add a bit more, but it's certainly improved it, hasn't it? It's certainly improved it. And I wanted to show you what the purpose of the masks, why we've included the masks, why they are part of the stamp set. And you can see, looking at the screen now, 12302, that's that lovely stamp set that gives you all these little characters and the balloons and the masks so that you too can create these really nice pictures. Lots and lots of fun to be had with these. Now, I want to show you a couple more things if you're up for it. I'll just move these things away. I want to show you the product of the month. I want to show you some samples of the product of the month from the design team. And also, let me just pop these over here, clear the decks a little bit. This is where Paul usually goes and does his bit. I have to do both bits, but that's okay. I'm happy if you're happy. I'm just moving all my bits over the way so I can find them later, all my moons, my balloons. Right, I've got that, got that, got that. That'll do. Got all my little people. There's a lot of stamps on that little set. You get a lot of bang for your buck. And don't forget what I was showing you with the bouquet. Remember, all those little people are all holding bunches of flowers. And all those masks help you add insides to those balloons as well. Now, what do I want to show you? Ah, yes. Okay. So bear with me a second. I've done that. We've done that. Tick that box and done that. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is the product of the month, and then some really nice, because I used the product of the month in the next demo as well. Now let's see what we've got here. Product of the month, flying out. If you're a SHACer, you'll know that we did this. We drew these in the SHAC. Let me just pan out a little bit. There we go. So this is the first product of the month. Pop this in your basket. These are fantastic, right? Look, these are these strip cards. And pop that. I'll finish what I'm saying, and then I've got another really good thing to tell you. So this is one product of the month. Let me just bring that up on the screen. Bear with me 1 minute. I've got it here somewhere. That's it. Right, so you can see here 31954, 13.99, and that's for this great big pack of 24 sheets of top quality, 250 GSM, acid-free, very, very lovely card. I'll show you some samples, what people have done. Pop that in your basket, the whole basket for the whole month of February, double points. Right, second thing, this is the second product of the month, this set of stamps. If you pop this set of stamps, not that one, hang on, sorry. Bear with me a second. That's not there, that's not there. Just bear with me a minute. Got the balloons, got those. Fabric strip, that's it. Sorry about that. Right, so we've got these stamps as well. 12277, you can see them on the screen now. Fantastic set of stamps. And the reason that we've included this product of the month, this is a set of strip stamps. When you actually look at these, you'll see that, like, you get patterns, you get ones with patterns, some are missing, and then you get blank ones. So now you create your own fabric strips. This is where these really, see, pattern, pattern, empty, empty. And this is where you can use these to decorate your own. So what I was going to say, I'll show you the three products of the month. Once again, these stamps, if you pop these in your basket, 20.99, then everything else in the basket and these, you get double points. Of course, you get your club discount as well, but that's how it works. So these are the products of the month, double points on the whole basket. We've got that one, we've got that one. And then the third, last but not least, these are these brilliant little die cuts, which Dave makes for us, these little heart cuts, which are the apertures, 2 different sizes, top quality stencil card as well. And that's 21254. But it also comes with this superb little set of useful words with love, good luck, thank you, for you, love you, just to say hello and well done. 3 little hearts, which are great little anti-wobble sets as well. So that little set there is on the screen now, and that number is 21254, 8.99 for that. Once again, pop that one on its own into any basket and you get double points on the whole basket. So that's the product of the month for the entire month of February. That offer stands for the entire month of February. I want to show you a couple of, now take that, right, and I'm going to show you so that you can see now I've combined. Let me show you. This is the project that I wanted to do with you, the second project that I want to do with you. And you can see that it's using that really cool paper as a kind of a base, like a foundation, and a little topper. So a top and a tail. I'll show you, if we've got time, we can make a decision whether we do that or not. But the thing is, the design team have sent us so many beautiful samples. I'm almost tempted to say, well, hang on to this. I'll tell you another thing as well. So we mentioned on the 19th of, let's get this right, on the 19th of February, this month, we're doing a craft along, and I'm using, I'll show you what I'm going to use, but I'm using those fabric strip cards, and there's another superb set of stamps, but we'll get to it. Let me just show you some samples, and then you'll get it. So I just want to show you some inspiration using the product of the month from the design team. Jane Telford, first off. So you can see here, she's used those papers as a, for the houses, for the little house, Clarity houses. Debbie McMullin, there's the heart. She's using the triangle people. Look, and she's used, I can feel it, she's used the stamps over the top to create her own designs. Here's a superb one. Sheila Metzeler, I love what she's done. She's used the plain and the patterns with the hearts. Doesn't that look fantastic? Here's another one from Sheila Metzeler, just to say, these are so pretty, so pretty. Here's a great one from Tina Morris, little shaker card, using the cut there. Here's a beautiful one. I'm in love with this one. This is Sheila Metzeler again, using one of our friends, Sisters and Angels. Some of the artwork is quite stunning here. Let me just show you a few more samples. This is a lovely one. This is another Sheila Metzeler. So she's taken the tag die. She's made a booklet. Look, what a lovely gift that is. And then she's taken one of the hearts. Just attention to detail, friends. She's taken one of the hearts and she's just doing the little dots like that. Isn't that gorgeous? There you go, look. I just want to show you. So she's using that white space that's on that set, because that's the white space there. And she's just using the little hearts, like almost like butterflies. This is a really cool one from Deborah Wheeler. I love what she's done. This is a weave. So this is offset, chopped and then offset. Optical illusion, but really lovely, isn't it? Here's a great one. This is another Sheila Metzeler. She really took this. I love this. So this is all one piece. Hello. I know. Well, hello. Sheila Metzeler, you get the prize today. She's really going for it. I love all these. Here's a Tina Morris, absolutely gorgeous. She's using that open, you know that, let's come out a little bit so you can see it. So she's using those whole lot of love apertures. Look, you see, that's it there. Over the top of the paper, use the words which just happen to fit really beautifully in that paper. So just explaining, really, Debbie McMullin, this is a particularly pretty one. Love that as well. Now here's a clever one. Linda Spencer, looky. So she's made candles and she's just added a flame with our little people. Sophia, on your birthday. Just great ideas, aren't they? I know. Hey, do you remember Mr. Painter? I know. Look, Jane Telford, great minds think alike. This is I think this is Linda Spencer. Yes, it is. Isn't that great? Art is what you make it. And then Jane's taken the same idea and added the two painters. Absolutely marvellous. This is a brilliant one. Linda Spencer. Now, don't they look like books? Which brings me, but do you know what? There are loads more. Let me just take the books out of the way. Look, there's the painter again. You don't have to use the whole guy. Do you remember our funky chicks, our hippie chicks? Look how good. Don't they work well together? Sheila again. She definitely got on board with this, didn't she? Deborah Wheeler, love what she's done. She hid the join with a sticker, very clever. I love this one as well. Look, you see, using just one stripe. This is using the stamp. It's clever, isn't it? Linda Spencer. So, you know, when you buy a pack of fabric strip card, you look at all those strips and you think, what am I going to do with all that lot? We've only just scratched the surface, you know. So I'll get Grace to build a whole gallery of these cards, and I'll get it on my, actually I might do it on my blog, just get that all scanned up and edited, and then we'll get, maybe over the weekend, I'll do a really lovely comprehensive, it'll either be on the Clarity Matters blog and Grace will do it, or it'll be on the One Day at a Time blog and I'll do it. I'll clear that with Grace and see which way. She might already have something else teed up for you and for your inspiration. So those are some of the art pieces. Now I want to show you a couple of other little things. This is, now it gets good, right? So we also, and you might remember this, we also introduced the book words. Now, while I'm on the phone, perhaps Jilly or somebody could print out the digital download, because I haven't got it with me, but we have got a digi download of the project that I did using the book. It's a brown one. You'll have it, it's definitely there somewhere. So one of the team will bring it into me in a moment. But I just want to show you this particular stamp set. It's just so excellent. And if I'm not mistaken, it may be coming your way in Groovy, or it already is, but it's very good anyway. Now let's take a look. So we've got a set of book stamps, all the different titles: Sense and Sensibility, Wuthering Heights, Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, all the different kinds of fonts. Now, I don't have the actual card with me to show you, because that I did with this, but I had such a fantastic time combining this set of stamps with the with these papers, because they're screaming out to be books. If you turn them this way and you use them like this, you see, they're books. And then you use the words down the spines of the books. And what we're going to do, this is a particularly special piece of artwork. I really enjoyed it. And I thought that it would be great to do a craft along. And so Jim, he's uploaded into, if you go to the front page of the website, what you'll find is, as you go down, in a minute, somebody will bring me the printout of the digital download so I can show it to you, what we're going to do. Here it comes, as if by magic. Thank you, Jilly. Cheers, love. Perfect. If you go to the front of the website, what you'll see is there will be a piece that says craft alongs. Scroll down a little bit. Craft alongs. You click on that, and in there you will find this. And this is going to be a digi download, Thursday the 19th of February at 7 p.m. It's a free craft along, okay? And together we're going to make this lovely card. It's really cool. The ingredients, everything that you're going to need is all underneath. So if you want to join me on the 19th, put the date in your diary. It's a Thursday evening. I haven't done a craft along for a while. So if you want to join me, Thursday, the 19th of February, you and me, we're going to make this card together, all right? And what you do need, though, is these. You know, you could write it in, but I can assure you that it looks absolutely glorious. And you know, let me just say this. I've put it on a shelf like that. But I also, in my home, I have lots of books that are stacked like that. And I can really imagine creating a little stack of books. Doesn't have to be this many. I mean, we're going to make this card, but I could imagine creating a little stack of books like this, okay? And watch, 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 right? Now, take these little people. This is a new set as well that we put together. We sized these to be an A5 set because we thought that the size was going to be absolutely perfect. So now you could take this little set, imagine you've got your books, and then you've got your little people. And so if it's like Hamlet, look, and if that's not a little Shakespearean, you could pop him on there. Or look, Julius Caesar waxing lyrical. These are just perfect for these. They kind of go together and you'd never think they would, but they really do. They really do. So I just wanted to show you that these are also available. 12280. The SHAC, Stay Happy and Creative. These are our little people. And I'm sure that Jilly will be able to give you the link to that. And then we've got the craft along on the 19th of February. Put that in the diary. And don't forget, if you're going to do that, you do need these, the book words, 12279. We can have hours of fun with that. As I mentioned, the product of the month, this isn't part of product of the month, but the card is amazing. Okay, and I'll tell you what I've done. I'll show you this. For me, what's really, really excellent is having them in a folder. So we sell these folders, but I love having my fabric strip card pack in here. Okay, and then you can see I've got all my colours ready to go. And they're all this way, but as soon as you turn them this way, it's a game changer. Now you see books, now you see houses, now you see candles, and it's the positive and the negative. It's this bit that is the key, right? So now I can take that and I can make the most beautiful panels, gold embossed on top. So good these are. And there are my heart apertures also in the pack, in the folder. I've got my heart apertures in there. I've got my book stamps in there, ready to go. I've got my strip stamps in there. So that whole project, everything that I'm interested in, and I will put my little people in there as well because they kind of work for me. So this is a great idea, and you can see it says paper parchment. You can because this works for parchment, designer parchment as well. But these are great storage folders, good quality. Right, so let me see. I just wanted to, what's the time? 12:30. So that last project that I was going to do, I'm thinking, right, I'll just, because it's already 1.5 hours in. If I show you this, right, let's do a little talk it, shall we? Let's talk it through. Let's take a look. And then, because it's interesting to see how I've done it, but I can literally show you because I don't attach all the cards. You can see here, that's a little strip. I'll take that off there. There's a piece of card there. See, when you start to dismantle it, it's quite easy, isn't it? There's a piece there. And then I've popped the card in there. This is why Maya falls again on this one. Let's go back to, just bear with me a second, the balloon people. So you can see I've got this is an 8x8. I chopped it in to fit. And now, let me tell you, it's 4 inches wide. So I've got another 2 pieces here, right, which I can make 2 4x4s out of just by folding them. So I've got my 8x8. I've used my inside liner paper for that side there. Then just for sizing, let me show you this. So this piece here is obviously 3x3, yeah? And this piece here, 3 by 7. let's have a look, 3 by 7. So it's an inch smaller than this piece, which gives me ½ an inch around the outside. Of course it does, if I'm putting it in the middle. So I'm just showing you the mechanics of it. It's very straightforward. And then this one, I actually, right, this is ½ an inch bigger because I don't want so much teal around the outside. But when I started stamping this one, let me tell you, I started on a piece that was the same size as the back. Because what that does is it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. When I stamp it's so nice, look. And then I stamp her in, and then I cover her legs up like that. I could still add her feet in there. I've got a little piece of that. And when I did this bit here, I'll just show you. So I've taken that, like that, and I've cut. So I've chopped this up. I get loads of mileage out of one. Look, chop this up. So a bit like that, a bit like that. I've got all these different pieces. And then all I've done is just chop the top bit off here. Right, so now I've got that piece there. I can make it any width I want. But if I'm working backwards on that, see, I've given myself a bit of wiggle room. So I can chop the pink off if I want. I could chop the green off. Always give yourself a bit of wiggle room. Then I've chopped this bit off. Now the difference, the only difference, if we put these against white, let's have a look here. If I just come in tight, you can see. The only difference between this and this is that blue edge. And the reason, and the way that works, and it's dead easy, if I take a piece of, look, I take a piece of copy paper, I pop that on there like so, I take my brush, because it's card, it's so robust. Look, I'm holding my brush. We sell these brushes, you know we do. This is where they really come into their own. I've got a little bit of the teal colour that I used in the balloon. Didn't that balloon come out nice? I know. So but I'm holding my brush down that tight because this is really tough card, good quality card. As I go round, it's not curling up, but I'm getting some really good depth. So on this edge as well, it doesn't muddy the card. It just gives it a really good edge. See? So now when I pop that on white card, see, I've given it more of an edge. This one I did a little bit more, right? And then I thought, I wonder if, because it's quite busy, I thought to myself, I wonder if I could use one of our rub-ons over the top, just because they give you such a good look on the balloon. It looks so nice, doesn't it? In gold. Because I was thinking, oh, I'll do it in white, because white would look good on there. And then I thought, God, I wonder if gold would work. Well, the answer is yes, it does. So, for example, if you're new to this, let me show you. I could take that one. I'll just show you this because it makes it obvious how this works. So this is if you're new to this. So these, Jilly will give you the link for this. I've done the gold one. So let's try a white one because they come in gold. They come in black. We know you're going to be able to see black easily. Let's see if you can see the white ones, because this was very much a project for Pergamano, for parchment art, but it looks so lush on let's have a look. Yeah, look, you know it's going to work. So it's just a question of which one. Now, let me just show you how these work. If I take a pair of scissors and I decide which one I want to use, so you could take any one you like. Let's go, hope you get well soon, all right? So we're going to cut out the piece with the carrier sheet. You're going to cut out the piece you want. And the reason we do that is it's quite tight, but that's okay. But cut that one out, like so. So you could lose the hope you get what you hope you get, and no, you couldn't. Well soon doesn't track. Stupid Right, so now I've got that. Now I'm going to pop this on here. Right, I'm still using my carrier sheet just to hold it in place. Now I've got this. Now I can decide where I want it to be. Do you see? So I need to make sure I've done all my blue, you know, all my edging. I'll do that first, and then I'll decide where I'm going to put this. All the time I'm still moving it around, it works, it's easy. So then we'll pop that in there. So I could do gold or white. The particular set that I'm using here is quite good, this, is the rub-on transfers, all occasion sentiments. They're great because they're kind of a real good mix of different ones. See, now it's holding in place. Now you're going to get a hockey stick, one of our Pergamano hockey sticks, and you're just going to rub over the top. These are so like top quality, very, very good quality rub-ons. And we're just going to just rub over the top of the carrier sheet, and you get there's a lollipop stick that comes with them, but we kind of decided that they work much, much better with the hockey stick because it's got much more surface area. So I'm just going to hold this in place, and then you're just going to rub over the word until you've transferred all of the white or gold or black to your surface. It just looks so professional, whether you do this on busy card like this, whether you do this on see, and as I lift this up, as I'm lifting this up, I'm looking at the carrier sheet. Just coming a bit closer so you can see this better. Right, and as I'm lifting this up, I'm looking at the carrier sheet and I'm seeing if all the white's moved over. See that all the white's gone on there, every little bit. So I can lift that off and I know that it's completely transferred. And then when so you've got such a nice combination. I like it when it's not screaming, you know, in black. I like it when it's a little bit subtle, when you hold it like that and you can see it beautifully. So I just wanted to show you the two options. I want to show you how they work. I think we've done enough. I will probably blog this just to show you the step-by-step and the positioning, but it's really easy. And you can see that I've used the same paper, just a scrap, to cut out the shape of the girl's dress. So there you go. That's what we're showcasing today. Is just to recap, we're looking at this fabulous little set of stamps and with balloons and people, which give you hours of play, and the number is 12302. And I think, my friends, that'll do. So I knew it would take a little bit longer. It always does when I'm on my own. And I just wanted to point you in the direction of those balloon stamps and the craft along and the product of the month and Paul. And Paul will be keeping you company on Hobby Maker. He's got some fabulous projects lined up for you. So do take a look at that. And that is today, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. And don't forget, tomorrow, it's the craft along with the Glastonbury tour with myself and Jazz. So thank you so much for joining me. Jilly, if I've forgotten anything, let me know quickly. And other than that, I wish you a very, very special weekend. I'll be back in the SHAC at 10 o'clock in the morning, in Monday morning. And other than that, I think we've got everything. And don't forget the craft along on the 19th of February. That's important. And other than that, you can always come back and watch again. Lots of love. I think we've got everything. Take care. Easy does it. Bye-bye now.